You know, that's why sometimes with these niggas that be talking, I was 15. They put me in a closet. They was like, yeah, so what about you? That's you know him, woo, woo, woo. I was like, man, I don't know them people. I go to Juvenile, I'm thinking they gonna call my mama. I had a hearing. Judge told me I was a menace to society, danger to public safety. I went back to my cell, I sat on the bed, tear trickled down my face, and I was like, damn. My mother had told me a few months prior to that, even with the name of my podcast, Holdin Court, I named it that for two reasons. It's a play on my name, but then also I was on the porch on the block. She overheard me and she says, you out there holding court like you big and bad, your ass around catch a case. 2 months later, I caught the case. When I'm sitting in that motherfucker, I'm like, you out there thinking you holding court. Your ass gonna catch a case.
You go to detention.
Yep.
How would you say you was at the time?
I was 15. I had never been in the system. I thought I was going home. I thought they was gonna call my mama to come get me. I knew them niggas was in trouble because they was of age. You know what I'm saying? A little older, a couple years older. But yeah, I was arrogant. I was talking shit to the police and everything. I'm like, nigga, y'all can't do shit to me. And I remember them asking me. Looking back on it, I didn't know. They wasn't even supposed to question me, but they were.
Your parents wasn't there.
Nigga, do you know, that's why sometimes with these niggas, these niggas that be talking, I was 15. And nigga, they put me in a closet because they was asking me. I act like I didn't know the motherfuckers in the car. They was like, yeah, so what about you? You know him, woo, woo, woo. I was like, man, I don't know them people. He was like, so you don't know who you was in the car with? I said, man, I ain't never seen the people. They was just giving me a ride. Like, I was being so arrogant. And so they put me in a closet in the Independence jail because they couldn't put me with the rest of the people. And so the juvenile van came and got me. They had me handcuffed. I remember I put my shit up in front of me. You know what I mean? And when I got out of juvenile, motherfucker was like, who told you to do that? I was like, who told you to do what? And he was like, get back up in there. Nigga made me get back up in there and put him back and behind my back. You know what I'm saying? And so I go to juvenile. I'm thinking they're going to call my mama. They didn't call my mama. I had a hearing. Judge told me I was a menace to society, told me I was a threat to danger to public safety. And he sent my ass, you know, back to my cell. And when I went back to my cell, I sat on the bed, I closed the door, tear trickled down my face. And I was like, damn, this is that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? This is the other side of that. And ironically, my mother had told me a few months prior to that, like even with the name of my podcast, Holdin Court, I named it that for two reasons. It's a play on my name, but then also 2 months before I caught my case, I was on the porch on the block and me and my homies talking shit. And so she calls me in the house. She overheard me and she says, yeah, little nigga, you out there holding court talking shit like you big and bad. Your ass gonna fuck around, catch a case. You know, and I'm thinking she just, you know, being what mamas do, fucking with me. And I'm like, man, I ain't even doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Shit, nigga, 2 months later, I caught their case, you know. And I always remembered that. It always echoed in my brain that she said this would happen. It's just one of the memories I have. Because, yeah, when I'm sitting in that motherfucker, I'm like, it's like a movie. You out there thinking you holding court. Your ass gonna catch a case. You know what I'm saying? So I always remember that. But yeah, so I was in there for about 8 months.
So let's get back into your stay there.
Yeah.
You know, being in detention 15, you're gonna go through some shit. So you had some shit with some niggas. You had homies in there? Was it people from the block? Wasn't no other kids you went to school with?
Nope, because everybody I was on my case with went to county. No, it was just me. I had a couple fades in there, you know what I mean? Just, you know, some juvenile shit.
You take some L's?
No. If I took L's, I say it, you know, because that come with it, you know what I'm saying?
So you was in there, you had some of that good cream of wheat and that toast and all that shit.
Fucking toast.
That shit?
That toast, my nigga.
Yeah, we only a few.
Yeah, only a few know about the toast, bro. Nigga, we used to play basketball for that toast. It was just something about the toast, bro.
Ass bullshit.
Yeah, the canvas fucking ninja shoes.
Whoever was first to get in there, get the right side. You might have 11 on one and the 10 on the other.
Yeah, them little white girl canvas shoes.
Parkers, nigga.
Yeah, they was blue with the white sole.
Ninja shoes, nigga.
Boy, you play basketball basketball and that bitches, you be sliding all over that bitch about to break your ankle.
So you in there for about 8 months. So
I'm in there for 8 months. So, you know, Juvenile, like we said, Juvenile kind of works like family court, you know what I mean? So they take into consideration, you know, there's other mitigating factors. So they took into consideration, you know, my household, my grades. So I had Carl Bussey. So he basically painted the picture because my mother was going through her little drug thing. My father had structure, you know, he had a wife. They both had good jobs.
You stayed with your father before prior to this?
Nope. I wanted to stay in Juvenile. Yeah, when they told me they was going, because my DJO came down and she was like, you know, good news. You know what I'm saying? The judge, they're gonna let you go home until they figure out if your ass gonna go to prison or not. So I was like, they was like, but you got to go to your dad's on house arrest. I was like, oh, fuck that. Like, no, I'm cool here. You know what I'm saying? I got acclimated at that point. I'm like, nigga, we got toast. Nigga, you know what I'm saying? I done made friends up in that bitch. I'm institutionalized at this point. You know, I'm used to the whole get down, you know? And so my DJO was like, nah, you can't stay here. You got to go home. You got to go to your dad's. I was like, shit, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I ended up going over there. And so I had Carl Bussey, man, he ended up painting a picture, you know, that you know, it was effective. And like I said, I was the youngest on the case. You know, I always had good grades. It was my first time in trouble, you know. And so I end up getting, the funny thing is, I remember Carl Bussey, I actually pled guilty to some of the charges that I didn't do. You know what I mean? Because they had us on a lot of shit, and I knew what I did, but you know, they did some other shit that I wasn't a part of. But I remember Carl Bussey, I was like, I didn't do that. He was like, look, nigga, just say you guilty. You know what I'm saying? Just plead guilty, and they gonna let you go. I was like, all right. So I remember sitting up there in court, and I was like, guilty, guilty, guilty. I was thinking I ain't do that shit. Not those, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up going home. And then I was on probation for like another year.
Walked it down with no hiccups?
Yeah. I stopped doing crash out shit. I didn't necessarily stop criminal shit, but I stopped doing crash out.
Pops, you went to the same school and everything? Was Pops still staying in the hood?
No, yeah. He was on Monroe. So I went to Lincoln. So I went to Lincoln, and then I transferred to Northeast. So I went to Northeast, and that's where I graduated.